Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make this simple, easy crochet change pouch. You do not need a lot of materials, it does not take a lot of time, and it makes just the perfect gift. So let's go ahead and jump into the materials. Okay, so for today's tutorial, I will be using this Lauren's Natural Baby yarn. You can use one color. I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to be using this pink and yellow. This is a number 2 lightweight yarn. It is 85% 85% cotton, 15% polyester. There is 218 yards per ball. We will not be needing all of that. So the size hook I will be using is a 2mm hook. You will also need a sewing needle for a button that you will also need, along with a stitch marker and a pair of scissors. So let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial. Okay, so for this tutorial, I will try to be zoomed in as much as possible so that you guys can see the stitches that I'm working, as they will be quite small. So let's go ahead and begin with a chain of 19. So these are going to be delicate. Try to work these a little loose just for your chains. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and work your chain of 19 and meet me back here. Okay, so here I have worked my chain of 19. Now into the 1, 2, into the 3rd stitch from the hook, we are going to yarn over, insert our hook, and do 1/2 double crochet into that stitch. So what we can do at this point is go ahead and grab our stitch marker and go ahead and put that in there. So now we are just going to 1/2 double crochet all the way across our chain until we get back to the other end. So go ahead and do that and I will meet you back here. Okay, so here I have made my way to the end of the round. Now what we are going to want to do is work our way back on the opposite side of our chain. So we are going to insert 2 more 1/2 double crochets into the same stitch that we were just working into. So there's 1, here's 2. So as you see, we're kind of turning and going the other way. So now we're going to work back down our chain to our stitch marker, and then we will begin working in the round. So this is all considered one row. So I will go ahead and get a little bit of a close-up. So here we have worked our 2 stitches. So now we're going to go into the stitch directly next to it and work our 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, go into the next part of the chain. So just go ahead and continue to do this all the way down, and I'll meet you back at the stitch marker and we will go on to round 2. Okay, so here I am at the beginning where my stitch marker is. I want to work 2 more 1/2 double crochets into the same space of the chain where we began, just to kind of, bring us back around. Now to finish off round 1, we are simply going to 1/2 double crochet into the space where we had our stitch marker, and for this I'm actually going to just go through both of the loops. Just like that, and I'm going to replace my stitch marker, and now I'm just going to work a 1/2 double crochet into every single stitch into both of the loops, and I'm going to continue for a total of 5 rows until okay, so I just wanted to show you guys real fast how it's looking. I'm going on to round 3, but you can kind of see how the edges are starting to turn up. So to continue, we're just going to simply continue working in the rounds. I'm going to do that, and I'll tell you how many rows I do, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so here I've actually worked 5 rows. At the end of my 5th row, one more stitch before my stitch marker, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, and pull up a loop. But instead of finishing off that color, I am going to go ahead and grab up my new color, and I'm just going to pull that through all 3 loops on my hook. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors, and I'm going to cut off my pink yarn. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of room to tie that in with the yellow. So I like to do this at the very beginning just to secure these stitches a little bit, especially since we're working with such a small, fine yarn. Okay, so now moving on to row 6, we are going to continue just like we have for the other part of the pattern. We are going to half double crochet into the first stitch. You can work over the ends of the previous row if you would like, and go ahead and place your stitch marker right there. So now we are going to work 2 more half double crochets, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches, so we'll have a total of 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and here's 3. Now what I'm going to want to do is work a spike stitch. So instead of working right here where the loop is, I'm just going to go down 1 row, and I'm going to work a double crochet into that. So I'm going to be working right here. So I'm going to go in, yarn over, oops, here we go, we're going to go in, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through 2 more. And now into the next stitch. So the one that we just did would be for these 2 loops right here. So in the next stitch, we are going to work a half double crochet, just like that. Into the next 2 stitches, we will work a half double crochet, 1 in each, so we will have a total of 3 half double crochets, just like that. Now we're going to work another spike stitch. So here would be our next stitch, and we're just going to work in the loop down below on the previous row. So we're going to yarn over, and we are going to insert our hook and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So moving on to the next stitch, we are going to go ahead and do 1 half double crochet into that stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 more. So then we will have a total of 3 more half double crochets. And then we are going to go ahead and work 1 more spike stitch. So we'll work a double crochet. So again, not into these 2 loops, not right here, but the space down below. So the previous row, we're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we will work 3 more half double crochets and a spike stitch, and we will continue to do that all the way back to the beginning of our work. Okay, so here I have come to the end of my row, and I did end with 2 half double crochets. So for the next row, let's see here, moving on to round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, moving on to row 7, we are simply going to do 1 half double crochet into every stitch around, and then I will meet you guys back here, and we will go ahead and switch back to the pink. So go ahead and stop one stitch before the stitch marker so we can do that color change. Okay, so here I am at the stitch before my stitch marker, and like before, I'm going to go ahead and just snip off my yellow yarn. I'm going to grab up my pink yarn again, and we are going to attach in the same way that we did before, where we have the 3 loops on the hook, and we are simply going to pull through all 3 loops and tie the 2 ends together. Go ahead and do that, and I will be back. Okay, so now I am actually going to do 14 more rows with my pink. If you want to make color changes in between, you can most definitely do that. If you want to, you know, repeat the post row, or I believe that's what I called it, was the posts. If you want to repeat this row anywhere in here, you can, but for the next 14 rows, I'm just going to do 1/2 double crochet into every stitch around, and then I'm going to do a yellow border after we are all done working the flap. So just go ahead and follow me in working 14 more rows in the pink for 1/2 double crochets, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so I went ahead and completed 5 more rows of the pink. So I have 5 rows of pink on the bottom, 2 rows of yellow, and 5 on the top. So I have a total of 12 rows. Now here's my stitch marker. So instead of continuing in the round, I'm going to chain up 2, turn my work, yarn over, and into that first stitch, I'm going to do 1/2 double crochet. And I'm going to do that for a total of 16 stitches until you are roughly at the other side of your bag. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back when you get to the 16th stitch, and we will turn our work. We are now working on the flap. Okay, so here I have worked 16 half double crochets. And so now again we are working on the flap, so I am going to chain up 2 and turn my work because we are now no longer working in the round, and we will just go directly into that same stitch and do a 1/2 double crochet, and we are going to do this all the way across. So again, we want our flap to come down, so we are going to do a total of 4 rows for our flap, and then we will begin to work on our buttonhole. So go ahead and work a total of 4 rows of 1/2 double crochets, working back and forth, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so as you see, I have completed 4 rows of the flap. Now I'm going to chain up 2 and turn. And now I'm going to work 1/2 double crochet into the next 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to loosely chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to skip 4 1/2 double crochets, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and into the 5th stitch. So counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th, we are going to do a 1/2 double crochet, just like that. 2. This really just depends on what size button you have decided to do. So if you have a smaller button, do less chains and just make sure that you are doing it in the center of your work. So just go ahead and continue to work your way down to the end here. Okay, so coming to the end of the row, chain up 2 and turn. Now we are just going to work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch across to our buttonhole, and then we're just going to work 4 half double crochets directly into the buttonhole. So just working my way down. Okay, so here is where I'm going to loosely work 4 half double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this just depends again on how many chains you skipped and how many or spaces you skipped and how many you chained. So then just work your way back across in half double crochets, and I will meet you back at the end. Okay, so here I am at my last stitch, and I'm going to leave 3 loops on the hook, and I'm going to cut my yarn and pull up my secondary color. Again, if you chose not to do this step, you can go ahead and continue on with the pink. But I'm going to finish and pull through that stitch and chain up 1. I'm going to set this down and just tie my ends together, again, just to make sure that everything is very secure and doesn't come apart. So I'm going to work the outside. Ooh, there we go. Where's the end? Around the edge here, including the inside of the pouch. So now just working down the side of the flap down towards our stitch marker, I'm just going to work a single crochet into every stitch down the side, just wherever you can pick up a stitch. And this is just for a nice little edging. Again, you can choose not to do this step, but I think it just kind of helps pull the whole piece together. So just go ahead and work your way down through the corner. At this point, you can remove your stitch marker. Okay, so just continue to do this all the way around the edge, and I will meet you here to tie off, and then we will add our button and be done with this project. Okay, so here I am coming up to my last stitch, and I am just going to slip stitch into that first stitch there. See if I can get my, there we go. Just going to slip stitch and then slip stitch into the following stitch, chain up 1, chain up 2, leave a little bit of a tail there for sewing. Go ahead and grab your scissors and cut that. So this will be the end of the crochet part of the project, so congratulations. Again, we do have a couple ends that we will need to sew in, but that is what it's looking like so far. Let's see, I do have a coin here to kind of demonstrate. Okay, so go ahead, grab your button and your needle, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so here I have gone ahead and threaded my needle. And I'm going to position this in the middle, just making sure that the button does line up with my hole. So you see here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So in between the second, third, and fourth rows, right there in the middle is where I'm going to want to be placing this. So going from the back to the front, I am going to make sure my needle pokes out there, and I'm going to grab onto a part of the button, pull it out and not pulling the other end all the way through. And I'm going to make sure this is again positioned where I want it. And I'm going to put my needle back through to the other side and pull that out. Now I'm going to secure this with a knot, and then we will continue to sew on our button. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue to sew back and forth, just in and out quite a few times, and then go ahead and secure it by tying off. So I'm going to do this a couple times, and I will meet you back here and show you guys what it looks like when I am done. And there you go, guys. You have your very simple, cute little change pouch, and if you want, you could even put a little loop on here to make it into like a little keychain guy. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified when I release new tutorials. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great day.